last time I drove the Hyundai Santa Fe was in 2021, and I loved it, but there was one little problem. It was a bit of a tight squeeze for my family of 5. For 2024, the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe is bigger and a little bit boxier, and with it comes 3 rows of seating. Let's take a closer look, but first let's check out the exterior. You'll notice the new Santa Fe looks nothing like any of the other models in the lineup, and Hyundai says that's on purpose, because the average customer isn't going to have the whole model lineup on their driveway. In other words, there's no need to accommodate for a certain aesthetic. So for this new model, Hyundai has redesigned it to have a bunch of H motifs in it. You can see it in the headlights here, and they bookend right here, this long bar. It's also inside in a whole bunch of places as well as on the taillights. In all exterior dimensions, it's bigger than the outgoing model, without being big enough to tread into the Palisade segment. For more specific vehicle dimensions, head over to Driving.ca. One of the interesting features here is that there's a little handle here, so you can grab it and then put your foot up onto the wheel and get right up on the roof to hook up any bikes or anything, or whatever outdoor people like to do. It's also a well thought out feature, as it can be locked if not in use and has a drain hole, so if you forget to close it during a rainy day, there won't be a pool of water waiting for you. In all trims other than the top Ultimate Calligraphy, the Santa Fe fits 7, with a bench seat in the second row that has more than enough legroom for second row passengers. The real question, at least for someone like me with 3 little kids, is how much space is really on the inside if you're trying to use that third row frequently. Again, it's not quite as much as a Palisade, but it's certainly not meant to be. That said, there's a surprisingly adequate amount of space that will easily fit young children or myself. But just how easy is it to get back there? Well, if you're in the Ultimate Calligraphy, that comes with 2 captain's chairs in the second row. It's extremely easy to climb in and through the middle to get to the third row, but even easier to tap the button at the top of an empty captain's chair, which automatically brings it forward. Of course, with that third row in use, there's extremely limited cargo space, but that's to be expected in this segment. But in this case, it's not a deal breaker, because this 3-row isn't meant to be used as a full-time 3-row, meaning the majority of the time you'll have access to a ton of cargo, and Hyundai notes it's got a wider opening than the outgoing model, making it easier to fit larger items with ease. And if you do need an extra seat or 2 in the third row, each side can be easily and individually lifted to create more room. We drove the XRT and Ultimate Calligraphy trims that both house a 2.5-liter Turbo 4. It makes 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque and works with an 8-speed automatic transmission to drive all 4 wheels. Both trims prove to be great on the highway and along super winding roads. It handles really well and doesn't often feel like you're driving a mid-size SUV, but something rather smaller. The steering assist works fine on straight roads, but on those twisty roads you'll really need to get a firm grasp on the wheel to take over entirely, as the vehicle doesn't seem to react quick enough to those wide turns. The XRT easily handled a gravel road equivalent to a path you'd likely take to a cottage, and also easily managed a heavy load as we drove it in tow mode. The XRT has a top towing capacity of 4,500 pounds, while the other gas models can tow up to 3,500 pounds when properly equipped. Hyundai has assured us the hybrid trims, which can tow up to 2,000 pounds, are coming in the next couple months, while the gas models are currently on sale at dealerships. When the hybrid trims drop, they'll have a starting price of $40,999, while the XRT will start at $46,999, and the Ultimate Calligraphy at $53,499, in addition to the $2,000 delivery fee as well as taxes. Note that the hybrid powertrain is only available in the 2 bottom trims, which is one of the very few disappointments about this vehicle. The top gas trim has a combined fuel rating of 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers, while the hybrid is rated at 6.9. That's a pretty big difference. You can't get a fully loaded Santa Fe with a hybrid powertrain, and that's disappointing because you may enjoy a couple Ultimate Calligraphy only features, such as the UVC tray that can sanitize small items. The space is just a small storage space in other trims. Speaking of storage, a super family-friendly feature standard in all models is a bilateral console that can be opened from the second row. And while I don't love the shift selector, it does free up space in the center console, which has space to wirelessly charge 2 phones, one of which can be wirelessly connected to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, each of which can be used on the 12.3-inch infotainment touchscreen. With very obvious family-friendly features, more overall space, and an interesting rugged design, the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe has a good chance of hitting a wide range of audiences at all ages. But if you're looking for something a little extra, there's also the limited NHL edition. It's not quite as flashy as the NHL wrapped Tucson at the Toronto Auto Show, but it'll definitely prove your loyalty to your team. Initially, my thought was, why not make the Santa Fe a 2-row instead of a 3-row? But sticking with the whole idea of family-friendly features, I think the optional 3rd row is a great idea and you don't have to use it unless totally necessary. I think Canadian families will love the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. It's got a lot of great things going for it, and I think it'll be a great addition if you're in the market. For Driving.ca, I'm Renita Narain. For more news and reviews, check out our website or follow us on social media.